help me welcome Kasule Apollo from Jema. One Uganda. He's with Musanje Haruna, the youth leader in Jema. Basaja Charles and his president Joseph Kiza Kableta of NEED. Give them a round of applause. Now can you step forward? You haven't been seen. Please. Quickly. NEED. Please step forward here. That is Kableta. And that is his delegation including Moses and Basaja Charles. So we have a 4-person delegation. Can you salute us?
Thank you very much, FDC Katonga. One Uganda, one people. But in need we say money in your pocket. But we are here on one Uganda, one what? And one people. Thank you very much for inviting us. God bless you all. We wish you success.
Thank you very much, sir. May I shake your hands? Yes, we have Gemma, can you be properly invited here? This is Gemma, salute us. FDC, one people. Thank you very much. Give a good clap to them. We have from the People's Progressive Party, Mr. Saddam Gaira. Can you step forward today?
FDC oye! FDC oye! Thank you for the courageous, thank you for the endurance, thank you for the determination, thank you for taking a bold decision. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I will be introducing other invited guests as they come. But may you step forward, all former members of parliament, starting with myself. I want you here. You still have a big job to do. This country needs you.
Thank you very much for inviting me. I can only say the struggle begins here.
One Uganda, one people. My name is Bamkwasa Betty Mzanila, former district woman representative of Mujiri district. Thank you, all of you, for coming. Keep it up. This is the beginning. Elizoba Kwajirachi, Kwachikuba, one Uganda.
One people, one Uganda. My name is Tumuhirwe Fred Triamweza, former MP, Rujumbura constituency in Mujiri district. Thank you.
I want you here. And here is one other one.
FDC oye. My name is Ojo B. Leo. I come from Amorata district. former Lao South region. My message to you is thank you for being available. Thank you for providing leadership. And thank you for being there. God bless you.
Job below from Choga County. That's what it was. Yes, Albert.
One Uganda, one people, one people, one Uganda. Man Okero is my name. Formerly MP of Kenya in the 8th Parliament and also Speaker of the People's Assembly. Thank you for refusing to be conformists and deciding to continue being disruptors. Persist in that path until the change we want comes.
Yes, give them a round of applause. They are still in the struggle. Thank you very much. You can take your seats. You know, lawyers are making a lot of money and they don't want to be part of the struggle. So when you see these ones, I want you to clap for them.
Thank you so much. One Samuel, always happy to represent people who really are for change in this country.
Ivan Bowe is my name, and it's always a pleasure to be part of our struggle.
The people out there, I want you to give them a round of applause. You know we can represent ourselves, but at times you need another hand. Please forgive me. Finally, the people of Luwero. Where are you? You are the ones, the owners of this problem. You are the ones to take it up. This is Greater Luwero. Be on display.
One Uganda, one people, one Uganda.
One Uganda,
One people,
one people,
one Uganda.
That is the triangle called Luwero. All of you go home knowing we are looking for another Luwero to liberate us from Katonga base. Thank you very, very much. Dr. Olive Cobson. Thank you. You have always been there. That is Dr. Olive. Whenever we are hurt, whenever we are physically assaulted, wherever our bodies are damaged, she's always there. So thank you very, very much. I'll continue the introductions, but for now, allow me to welcome the party chairman, Ambassador Waswadiligwa, Omulongo, thank you very much. Musajja mukulu yimirira wali soke tulabe. Come and welcome all your people. Thank you very much.
I don't even know what to say now. This is a long, long journey. Really a long journey. Since, I would say, 19th of September of last year. First and foremost, I'd like to recognize our founder and our bosom buddy, Dr. Kiza Besigye. I call him the father of this party. I recognize the interim president, Dr. We have the doctor, Rukwago, Lord Mayor, who's been steering. I would like also to recognize one of my elders, Honorable Wafula Ogutu. All the members of parliament who are here, and those who have just arrived. I don't think some of them, Naboth has not been introduced. I saw him coming a little bit late, but he's here. From Rubungiri also. I'd like to welcome the invited guests. I would like to welcome all of you who've been able to make it, from all the district chairpersons and your entourage. I thank you so much for having made it not easy, because most of you have had to pay for yourself to get here. And I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so very much. I'm here to say just a few words. Mostly, I'm looking at the theme of today, which is refocusing the forces of change to the struggle of freedom. Now, the word freedom is a very, very important word, because everyone, human beings, even animals, yearn for freedom. Somewhere in 1558, there was a gentleman who talked about freedom, and that was Abraham Lincoln. He talked about freedom. Either you're free or you are a slave. And I think where we have reached in Uganda, we are close to being what? Slaves. So if we are indeed slaves, then we must break the chains of bondage so that we become free. We are here at Katonga, and I think this is the beginning and the end. The beginning is going to be here, and if there's going to be an end for this country, it's going to be where? We are the one who's got the torch to take this country forward. We are the one who's been given the mantle. Nobody else. No one else. The people you see here, coming from all over Uganda, they have sacrificed. And right here where we are, we have a person who has sacrificed more than all of us. And that person is Haruna Byamkama. Where is he? Haruna is here, or he's right behind. He took bullet on our behalf at Bulangi. He is crippled. He is in the wheelchair. But he has never, ever given up, and he's still fighting. Clap for him, please. Some of us have been in jail, tear gassed, and obviously we have lost many, many people. We have, as you've already heard, 36 of our members who were very, very active, who are now rotting up in jail for no reason at all, kidnapped from another nation, beaten up, and brought back in chains. Ladies and gentlemen, chains do not necessarily have to be visible to be chained. We are chained in our minds because we have refused to liberate ourselves. How can we fail to liberate ourselves when we look at this number? And the millions that are there all over Uganda. How can we fail when only few, not even probably 2,000, are sitting on our heads, doing as they wish, spending our money as they wish. How can we allow that to happen? Well, this is a new day. Today, you delegates shall decide what we are going to do, what path we are going to take. It is really up to you to decide what we ought to do. We traveled throughout this country. I was among them all the way to Kotido. Hence the reason why I guess you have seen some of one of the biggest number that have come here are from Kalamoja. We went to all those places. We thank you so, so much. I would like to take also this opportunity to thank all those people who welcomed us in your cities, in your villages, when we were touring. When we came to ask you a question, or questions, what do you want? What should we do? Which way forward? Today you will decide. We have collected all that information so that we can bring them to you, and you will decide where we ought to take this country. How we're going to take this country. Do not lament about FDC anymore. I'm not lamenting anymore. It's water under the bridge. Some of you have left your homes and went to other families' homes. You miss mama, you miss papa, but you started another home. Correct? So, today, I want to leave this place knowing there's a place we are going. I can see where we are going. And where we are going, we're going to State House. We shall take power, inshallah. But in order to do it, nobody gives you power. We have to take it. We have to grab it. We have to scratch, kick, do whatever we need to do. We must take power. Today I'm charged up, I don't know why. Forgive me. I don't want to take so much time, except to now.
I wish also to report that we registered a major victory in the Buganda Road Court case that had been instituted by the Najanankumbi Quislings through a proxy, one Jamal Wante, challenging the legality of our national chairman. Via criminal case number Buganda Road 1688 of 2024. The court roundly threw out the case on Thursday last week, the 15th of August, thereby cementing the authority and legitimacy of Ambassador Waswa Pilibwa as the undisputed and the unquestionable party chairman. He is unquestionable. You remember how he jumped over the fence to escape from those masqueraders. Internal elections and the party structures. The delegates conference set up an interim electoral commission chaired by Michael Kabaziguruka to organize transparent, free and fair election of the party. However, we suffered some setback in that the commission chairperson got the challenges that rendered him unable to effectively execute his mandate. That notwithstanding, we managed to proceed with the task, and where we stand today, structures have been built at villages, parishes, sub-counties, constituencies and district levels across the entire country. Clap for yourself. Thank you. We must commend you for the commitment, zeal, and passion for your active participation and involvement in this exercise, which has been largely successful despite the limited resources and other impediments. At the time we had built, at that time when we presented the report to National Council, we had built structures up to the district, and it was 80%. Now we stand at 100%. A big achievement. Number 3.2, collaboration with other forces of change. In addition to the forced resolutions, NEC had to take an additional assignment as anchored in the FD Strategic Plan 2022-2027, the one which is running, of enhancing collaboration with other forces of change. We launched this at Najanankumbi before the junta, the masqueraders took over. In our strategic plan, we agreed to continue with our strategy of defiance and non-violent struggle. In advancement of the said strategy, we had to jointly work with other forces of change, and we have had a series of engagements, meetings, public appearances, and a number of activities. I am pleased to inform you that we have cemented the bond with different formations, and on 16th January 2024, we hosted here at Katonga a joint press conference to pass on the New Year message that would give direction to Ugandans on how to regain their sovereignty. The press conference was addressed by our patriarch, Dr. Chiza Besije, local president, Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi, Honorable Willie Chiza, on behalf of Auntie, Dr. Lurume Bayega of Progressive DP, Council Peter Warubiri of Progressive UPC, PPP President, HT Wasadamu Gaira, among others. Those particular leaders made a personal call to all Ugandans to rise up and challenge the junta through demonstrations and political activism. We had lined up a series of joint activities countrywide, starting with the Kampala leader and Iganga. For Kampala, we had an activity to awaken the people of Kampala about the deplorable state of infrastructure. The Kampala activity coincided with the NAM and G7 plus China conference that was used as an excuse by the junta to employ its brutal arm to thwart all our efforts. Some of us were detained and put under house arrest for a full week. Dr. Chiza Besije, myself, and the Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi. That notwithstanding, we remain committed to a joint platform to push back and regain control of our country. Now, proposals and resolutions on the way forward at that particular meeting. NEC recognized the fact that the party was engrossed in a rather intricate and labyrinthine debate about the trajectory of the party and the struggle, and it deemed it prudent and imperative to present the various permutations as they were suggested by various members of the party. These were the permutations, the options. Number 1, should we continue with the fight to rescue our party and evict imposters from our headquarters at Najanankumbi? That was number 1. 2, reconcile with the imposters on condition that they voluntarily vacate party offices at Najanankumbi and denounce their nefarious conduct and scandals, and we have to add that after cleansing the press of the whatever they did there. 3, the bona fide members of FDC who are still committed to the struggle to push back the junta constitute themselves into a new formation which would entail dissolving the FDC party. 4, continue advancing the struggle under a framework of a social movement akin to the reform agenda and forget all about the divisive party politics. These two would entail the dissolution of FDC and not forming a new party. The last one was join other existing political parties or acquire one which is dormant or in abeyance. Those were proposals. After thrashing out all those issues, members of the National Council unanimously resolved that wide consultations be conducted with the party structures countrywide within a period of 3 months. Accordingly, a program was drawn for structured engagements on regional basis. The delegates conference, which had been hitherto scheduled to take place on 19th March 2024 was accordingly postponed. The consultation process. Consultation with the party founding members. The National Executive Committee consulted the founder members of the party at a meeting convened in Namugongo on 23rd October 2023, who appreciated the efforts that had hitherto been undertaken to address the crisis bedeviling the party. The thrust of their concern and the recommendation was that the interim leadership of the party should explore all available options to reinvigorate the spirit and ideals espoused and agreed upon at Bonita on 7th August 2004. They emphasized the dire need to jealously guard the sanctity of the party constitution and the pedigree painstakingly built out of sacrifices and the blood of many forefathers and other Ugandans. Nationwide consultations on the way forward. The National Council of 21st February this year considered the party president's report and resolved that the 5 optional pathways be presented to the wider party leadership across the country for consideration so as to build a broader national consensus on the way forward. The national consultations kicked in earnest on 11th March 2024 with the Kampala and Wakiso district structures at a meeting held in Chireka, Chira municipality. That inaugural meeting again was organized by Honorable Semuju Ibrahim. Thank you very much. We proceeded to engage with the leaders from across all the sub-regions of the country, and below is the roadmap of the consultation tours. We have the regions and the dates we visited you when you made your own submissions. You recall very well. You will cross-check. Fast forward on page 9. In as much as these engagements were intended to solicit views of members of the party in the structures, in some areas, open public meetings were conducted to further advance the message of the struggle. Mr. Chairman and honorable delegates, permit me to pause and extend a vote of thanks to our patriarch, Dr. Chiza Besigye, who made sacrifices to ensure that these meetings are a success. He deserves a big clap. He attended and he guided each of the meetings in person. He never missed even a single meeting countrywide. Similar appreciation goes to all members of NEC who defied all odds that militated against us in conducting these meetings, and he held fort in my absence as I was announcing a brave health challenge that required a surgical operation in India and took place in April this year. And praise be to the Lord. Am I not firm enough today? The Lord is great. Of course, not forgetting all of you dear delegates and members of the party across the entire country who exhibited enthusiasm towards addressing the current debilitating situation. Clap for yourself. Members, you participated actively. We owe you all that you deserve. Because of the hitherto unforeseen imponderables, the world consultation exercise took much longer than expected, thereby necessitating the extension of the same. Inevitably, the delegates' conference had to be postponed once again. 2 other virtual National Council meetings were accordingly convened by the National Chairman, the first one being held on 19th March 2024, which scheduled the delegates' conference at 2nd August 2024, and the second one held on the 26th of July 2024, which moved the delegates' conference to today, the 19th of August 2024. And I thank you very, very much for all these activities you did in ensuring that this succeeds. And allow me pause again and thank one person here who steered almost everything. My brother Kenneth from Kenneth Okero. Opoka, yes, Kenneth Opoka. Where is he? From Agago. He's been here on a daily basis. Thanks very, very much, Chairman Opoka. Thanks very, very much.
I was asked to come and share with you my thoughts about mobilizing and organizing for change. And therefore, in the next, April, how much time do I have? How much time? Enough time within the circumstances. Okay. So in the next about 30 minutes or so, I really want to share with you very specific things. One is to give you my thought about the nature of the problem. Because when we're talking about mobilizing and organizing for change, it means that we are trying to change from something to something better. So I want to spend some time and explain from my understanding, and because I've been doing research, I've been practicing, I've been moving shoulder to shoulder with forces for change, whether it's FDC or all the other groups. So I want to share with you what is the nature of the problem that we are dealing with. Number two is to really deal with how then do you confront that problem. What are the tools are at our disposal as citizens to deal with that problem? Number three is to look at a forward-looking agenda. Because quite often, those of us who are not happy with the situation we are in, we actually spend a lot of time agonizing about the past and the present, and we forget about what is the future that we are looking for. So those are my presentation or my discussion today is going to be focused, is going to be organized around those three parameters. First of all, what is the nature of the problem that we are dealing with? I think that's if there's one of the things that I always share with Dr. West is say we are dealing with a very sophisticated dictatorship in this country. A very sophisticated dictatorship. I also want to emphasize from the beginning that dictatorships, actually dictators, because sometimes also when you put dictatorships you miss out the real point. Dictators love elections more than Democrats. They like elections. Why do they like elections? They like elections because once their source of legitimacy keeps on diminishing, because your source of legitimacy as a leader comes from the people. Once that source of legitimacy keeps on diminishing, then you only have elections as the only legitimating factor. So in other words, you have built the infrastructure to organize the election, count the vote, announce the winner, or actually announce the loser as the winner, and you have the military and all the security infrastructure to guarantee that the loser who has been announced as the winner is the winner. That's how dictatorships operate. And that dictatorship, sometimes when we talk about dictatorships here, people very quickly associate it with Museveni. No, even each one of us here, once you become a dictator, that's how you will behave. Yeah, because that's the character of dictators. But how do you then build a dictatorship? And that is important for us to understand. If you are going to organize and mobilize for change, you need to first understand how do dictators build dictatorships. Dictators build dictatorships by focusing on two things. One is to demobilize and destroy institutions of state. The second one is to demobilize and destroy institutions of citizenship. And these two are critically important for all of us Ugandans, all of you guys who are members of Forum for Democratic Change. We need to be able to understand these two issues. One is that dictators will destroy institutions of states and they appropriate them. So in other words, they become the state institutions themselves. Because what do we mean when we talk about institutions of state? We are talking about the institution of the executive. The executive is the presidency, is the military, is the police, the intelligence, and then the technical agencies that organize around that executive. So, an institution like the National Environment Management Authority, many of you know it, NEMA, is an institution of the executive. The executive is able to run a country, implement policy through these institutions. Institutions like National Roads Authority, those are the institutions that the executive uses. So whether the government runs is going to depend on the quality of all these institutions. So what dictators do is to be able to appropriate all these institutions and almost personalize them. And all you will see is begin to see the dysfunction of that executive. Now, I'm sure that all of you here agree with me that the executive arm of the state of Uganda is basically largely dysfunctional because it has been only monopolized and personified in President Museveni. So all you see is a president with no institutions. Because you see, if National Environment Management Authority was functional, or Kampala Capital City Authority was functional, then you wouldn't have a tragedy like we have at Kitezi. That would never happen, my friend, the Lord Mayor. Yeah? There is no way you can have an institution like NEMA, like KCC, and they are working, and then you have citizens being buried by garbage. And the tragedy is that the first response, if you follow the Kitezi, the first response for Kitezi was President Museveni to write a letter, sympathize with those who lost their people, announce 5 million shillings, 1 million shillings. The fact that as a country we are even able to accept that from a president shows you how broken we are as a country. And that is the nature of the problem that we are dealing with. But you can also look at the other institutions. The police. You ask yourself, do we have a Uganda police force now? The intelligence, does the intelligence work for Uganda?